not to take it from them, but to inform their direction by education. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live for the program, The Afternoon Conversation. We provide a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live on Monday to Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out. I know of no city repository of the ultimate powers of society but the people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with the wholesome direction, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their direction by education. Join Love FM 105.1 and Love
For the program, The Afternoon Conversation, we provide you a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live from Monday to Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out.
All glory and honor to God Almighty for sparing our lives to see another day and having another opportunity to do what we are called to do and doing it to the best of our ability is what we're up for every time the opportunity is afforded us. Good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon conversation right here on Love FM 105.1. For those of you following us via our online radio, loveradioonline.com, we say welcome. Whatever your time zone is, we say welcome to the broadcast. For those of you following us on Facebook, Love TV Live, you are welcome. As we have dubbed our talking point for today, analyzing the 77th Independence Oration. So we're going to play you the speech, and following that, we will have the time to talk about issues relating to what the orator stated in her speech. We will also be highlighting points from officials of government. You know, the Unity Party spoke through its chairman, Dr. Luther Tappe. He spoke. You also have the response from the American embassy. We will highlight that as well. So those are basic things that we're going to be doing this afternoon and affording you, Liberians, the opportunity to weigh in on the oration of the 177th Independence Celebration. My name is Rufus Divine Cannon, and not to waste much of the time highlighting those joining us, we say good afternoon to you, Miss Ruth Hills. How you doing? She said thanks very much, sir. Thank you so much for joining her. As always, she has become one of our ardent followers. So we must use the time to appreciate you for what you do. Continue to share the life. Call a friend to tell a friend that indeed is about our country. The conversation we have is civil. And when you are having the time to wade in, let us do it on a respected basis. You know, we must respect each other's views. Like the American said, come on. They said it is the woman's right to speak, and it was the right of the Shashi affair to work out. So whatever it is, good afternoon and welcome to your program, our program, The Afternoon Conversation. Without much ado, let us begin with the speech. Listen keenly, jot down those points, but specifically my attention is on our leaders. You know, I'm not looking at the American side of the speech. I'm looking at what the orator stated concerning ourselves. What have we to put in to transform and change the narrative? Our legislators, they were all in attendance. Government officials, all in attendance. What are they doing to change the course of action from 1847 We are still living in the past. What new are they bringing to the table to change the narrative so that Liberians can benefit from their own resources? You have government officials siding with foreign partners to extract our resources, and the people are not getting the benefits. They are enriching themselves on the expense of the ignorance of the people. But whatever it is, let's listen to Miss Pili, what she had to say to us during her speech. Get your points, and then we come back. We read out the response from the American embassy. The write-out that was done by the Unity Party chairman, Dr. Luther Tappe. We also highlight some dignitaries' response to the oration. All right, so let's listen to Ms. Philly.
All protocols observed. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. As someone who loves this country with every fiber of my being, I feel very honored and privileged to address you today. When I think of Liberia's birth as a nation, I often picture fish of all shapes and sizes raised in the air like this. Because our Declaration of Independence on July 26, 1847 was a revolutionary act of defiance. Back then, when blackness was synonymous with bondage, we Liberians dared to be free. Inspired by our Haitian sisters and brothers who had led the first successful slave revolt in history, we dared to reclaim Black personhood. Decades later, when our beloved continent was being carved up in the European scramble for Africa, swallowed whole by colonialism, we dared to be sovereign. In fact, our very existence as the first Black republic inspired a race benighted. Lest we forget, our Declaration of Defiance happened nearly a century before independence movements began in earnest across this very continent. So, Liberian Independence Day should be called Independence Day. Because thank you, Mike, I'm going to repeat it. Liberia's Independence Day should be called Independence Day. Because 177 years ago, our foremothers and fathers defied the odds. They attempted to prove that Black self-rule was not only possible, but also undeniable. They embraced Black internationalism long before this form of solidarity became an act of resistance. Our amount of different identities and cultures, West African, West Indian, Caribbean, Central African, and North American, was the radical affirmation of Africa meeting its diaspora. This exceptional legacy is our destiny. Yet, when we talk about ourselves today, in the narrative that we pass down from one generation to another, we tend to forget the magnitude of 1847. We forget that this glorious land of liberty was founded on abolitionist principles. We forget that dignity once defined us. Somehow, somewhere, way, we lost touch with our common humanity. We created citizenship tiers based on ethnicity, class, gender, religion, and race. We mortgaged our resources to the highest bidder. We placed profit before people and planet. We silenced and suppressed dissent. We mistook autocracy for democracy. We failed and protect the cultural, artistic, and scholarly traditions that fill our hearts, enlighten our souls, and sharpen our minds. And in the aftermath, we fought a brutal protracted war that left death and destruction in their wake. And in the aftermath of such carnage, we achieved negative things. The absence of direct physical violence, when we should have been pursuing positive peace. The absence of structural violence. Now understand, for many, July 26th symbolizes not defiance, but defeat. Not rupture and regeneration, but regression and retreat. Not inclusion, but exclusion. Not cooperation, but contestation. From 1847 onward, our negotiations over land ownership, political participation, identity, and belonging yielded both productive and destructive outcomes. Our nearly 200-year history as a nation exposed both collaborative and combative elements of who we are. Despite adopting a unification and integration policy 1 century after independence, we never actually united against a common existential threat until the Ebola outbreak of 2014 to 2016. For the first time in that moment, instead of attacking each other, we stepped into our collective purpose and showed that in union strong, success and strong, we cannot fail. We proved that what started out as a 19th century experiment in Black self-determination has grown into something larger than we could ever have imagined. In this, our 177th year, I urge us to reimagine what it means to be one nation, indivisible. Oh, how sweet this country could be if we only rebuilt it for all of us to enjoy. We must believe that there is sufficient space to accommodate our differences and our shared experiences, that there are enough resources to supply our basic needs and cultivate our God-given talents. And so, we must narrow wide gaps between the poor and the prosperous, between the powerless and the powerful, between women and men, girls and boys, young and old. Every 26 should be a moment of reflection and reckoning. Have we dared to be defiant in the previous year? Have we treated each other with civility and not cruelty? Have we upheld high standards of accountability, and that includes respecting time? Have we reduced inequality and redistributed wealth to enable everyone to survive, not just merely survive? Have we reduced, I'm going to repeat that again, have we reduced inequality and redistributed wealth to enable everyone to thrive, not merely survive? Have we developed functioning systems that will outlive us? Have we taken full responsibility for our socioeconomic transformation? My challenge to us on this Independence Day is to build back better. My challenge to us on this Independence Day is to build back differently. Now, I have traveled the length and breadth of Liberia's 15 counties and our 16 counties of the diaspora. And one thing always rings true. Each and every one of us wants to live a life of dignity. Now, our methods of achieving self-respect and self-worth have not always been compatible, fair, or just. Yet we cannot build a new Liberia for all Liberians this year's 2016 until we all possess a basic level of well-being. Dignity must define us. This should be our creed, our mission, our vision, our roadmap, our North Star, our prayer, our central unifying core and ideal as a people. Dignity must define us. Those who yearn for dignity, those who are already here yearn for dignity. Liberians at home and abroad currently yearn for dignity. Dignity must define us. I propose a radical agenda for achieving this very lofty goal. First, we must reconceptualize and redefine what it means to be a Liberian. What does it mean to be a citizen in this post-war moment? Second, we must tackle the twin development challenges of structural violence and unfreedoms. How do we enable all Liberians to realize their fullest potential? And third, we must prioritize nation building as much as we prioritize state building. How do we build relationships between individuals and institutions of government to serve the collective good? I have plenty of ideas, but little time. So please give me small chance, yeah? Reconceptualizing and redefining Liberian citizenship. In 2021, I published a book that investigates how Liberian citizenship has changed across space and time, and what implications this has for our development outcomes. I discovered that in the aftermath of any kind of upheaval or disorder, identities, practices, and relations between people fundamentally transformed. From our founding as a nation state to the indigenous wars of resistance, to the political rumblings of the 1970s, to the violent assassinations in 1980 and 1990 of two-headed states, which culminated in warfare, Liberian identities, practices, and interpersonal relations have fundamentally changed. Understanding why this change has occurred and how we cope with it now is the beginning of reimagining Liberia anew. So I use the unique backstories of Liberians I interviewed at home and abroad in 5 cities, 5 countries, 3 continents to develop a framework for reconceptualizing and redefining what it means to be Liberian. I call it the Liberian citizenship triad. Shaped like a triangle, this triad has 3 points that move from the individual to how the individual interacts with her, his, government, and society. Point 1 on the triad defines Liberian citizenship as passive and identity-based. You are Liberian if you can claim birthplace and or bloodline ties to this country. This passive, identity-based form of citizenship is about claiming rights, regardless of your age, your gender, your ethnicity, your class, your sexual orientation, your ability, etc., etc., etc. Do you speak Liberian English and/or a Liberian language? Do you identify with at least one of our counties as part of your lineage? Point 2 on the Liberian Citizenship Triad defines Liberian citizenship as active and practice-based. You are Liberian if you consistently, let me repeat that, you are Liberian if you consistently contribute to the country's socioeconomic transformation in big ways as well as small ways. This active, practice-based form of citizenship is about fulfilling responsibility, something that we often forget. Fulfilling responsibility. Do you obey our laws, regardless of your status? And I'm speaking here specifically here to some of you lawbreakers, I mean lawmakers. I knew you would enjoy that. Do you pay attention? Are you actively involved in the political process? Do you build Liberian capacity? Are you willing to invest time, your talent, and your treasure to build this nation? Lastly, point 3 on the triad defines Liberian citizenship as interactive, based on relations between citizens and between citizens and the state. You are Liberian if you engage in healthy, I'm going to repeat the word, healthy interaction with other Liberians and with your government. Now, healthy interactions are defined as interactions that are neither abusive nor exploitative. This interactive, relationship-based form of citizenship is about building bonds. Do you hold yourself, your fellow citizen, and your government accountable? Do you offer constructive criticism when necessary and appropriate in ways that are not self-serving? These are the hallmarks of building a new Liberia for all Liberians. So, we fulfill responsibility and we cultivate and maintain wholesome relationships with one another. Now, we can implement this Liberian citizenship triad by incorporating formal lessons about citizenship into our national curricula at all levels. By implementing a national youth service scheme to send graduating high school seniors who are out of university to the county for on-the-job training and by requiring anyone who assumes public office, whether appointed or elected, to undergo mandatory civic training. A prerequisite for national certification should be asset separation and at least 10 hours of civic education. Appointed officials should complete training within 2 weeks of confirmation. Dignity must define us. Dignity must define us. Structural violence and unfreedom. Now, for critical development scholars like myself, the main goal of development is to enhance well-being and reduce deprivation. Yet structural violence and unfreedom, which involve institutions and structures that fuel inequality and injustice, inhibit individuals from meeting their basic needs or actualizing their fullest capabilities. Though less visible than physical violence, structural violence is systemic, enduring, and ultimately more dangerous. Indeed, the true test of a nation is its willingness to transform the structural conditions that render so many of its citizens hopeless and hapless. A reimagined Liberia intentionally seeks to reduce the unfreedom of poverty and the inequity of structural violence. Because the contrast between our haves and our have-nots is entirely too stark in this country. For example, over 50% of Liberians live in multi-dimensional poverty. This is not only unacceptable, but even for a country that can boast of 177 years of sovereignty. We have the resources, both human and financial, to achieve our development dividends. However, we must change our economic model of extracting and exploiting finite resources. Manufacturing and exporting finished products, such as steel rods from our iron ore, from our raw latex, furniture from our timber, country called textiles, hand woven from our local. Now, some of these aspects may not last forever, but the resilience of our people will. So, we must invest heavily in Liberia. We can begin to do this by allocating extra revenue generated from manufactured goods to expand freedom, such as access to quality education for all. A reimagined Liberia projects anti-intellectualism, develops critical thinking skills, and invests in lifelong learning from cradle to grave. When I worked in government over a decade ago, I can't believe it's been that long, we developed a capacity building strategy that aligns with our development needs. So, in addition to educating geologists, engineers, and epidemiologists in our universities, we also focus on training electricians and carpenters and plumbers in our technical and vocational education. This is a model worth replicating. Because everyone doesn't need to attend university to contribute to structural transformation. Having said that, as a wonderful economics, I must stress that reimagined Liberia requires an autonomous tertiary education that is fit for purpose. I must also insist that we shift our attention away from the extractive industry, which make us vulnerable to the vagaries of global capitalism, and instead focus on developing our creative industry. Empower our cultural and creative entrepreneurs so that the work of craft people, writers, musicians, visual artists, designers, dancers, is valued under our laws and fairly compensated. Now, this brings me to Liberia's very extreme levels of income inequality. The unregulated accumulation of vast wealth amidst cumulative want in this country is not only obscene in talent, it is structurally violent. No labor, no labor. I urge you, I implore you, I appeal to you to revive our decent work bill. Change the monthly minimum wage from $143, which is unconscionable. What can we possibly do with 140? Change the monthly minimum wage from $143 to at least $250. low average salaries is setting itself up for failure. We must also reform our pension and social security system, leading to a complete overhaul of NASCOR. This way, that particular agency can serve all workers, including those in the informal sector who are the backbone of this economy. If our government does its part, then we citizens must do ours. Now, when I was growing up as an undocumented migrant in Washington, D.C. in the United States, my humble and hardworking parents, my father's in the audience today, thank you, Dad, my humble and hardworking parents constantly reminded me that diligence and tenacity would be my ticket out of legal limbo. They were right. But how many of us actually value hard work? Some of us but refuse to put in the time and effort required to make it. When given the opportunity, we shirk our responsibilities and demand compensation for doing very little. We must change our ethic around work and propel our labor market into the next century. We must also enforce the Liberianization policy by protecting Liberian businesses from the monopoly of foreign cartels. For example, because we import more than 80% of, including the stable rights, government contracts should be given to Liberian agribusiness operating at scale. This will promote food security in keeping with the Liberian Feed Yourself program. See President White, I have read the document. However, protectionist policies should never give us license to lower our standards or accept mediocrity. Liberians must constantly invent new ways to expand our outcomes and play an active role in our economy. Because of the display of talent I saw at our Made in Liberia trade fair in Monrovia last Saturday completely blew me away. We are a resilient nation of gifted people who are beginning to dream beyond the realm of possibility. I urge Liberian entrepreneurs to see the heap of trash dumping across our country as a business opportunity. See the regeneration of renewable energy, solar, wind, geothermal, biofuel as an impetus for confronting the climate crisis. See the supply of clean, potable water as a business opportunity. See advancement in technology and artificial intelligence as an opportunity to produce jobs for the future. These pursuits will create sustainable employment, reduce intergenerational poverty, and spur economic growth. But our goal must be inclusive growth, not growth by any means necessary. And if inclusive growth is our mission, then we must cancel contracts with poorly performing multinationals and renegotiate competitive agreements that including our labor laws and international human rights standards, including environmental governance. leverage increased domestic resource mobilization from these revised concessions to pay off internal and international debt and clear our arrears with regional institutions that we actually founded, such as the African Union, the Economic Community of West African States, and the World Union. On the domestic front, we must lead a values-based revolution against corruption. We must lead a values-based revolution against corruption. Now, my view is that corruption were written for this reason. That is to equip children with the verbal tools to question the confusing ethical codes of the adults in their lives and to model accountability, to become example to us when it should be the other way around. Now, we do not need to reinvent the wheel, but we can be innovative in our advocacy of integrity. Liberia has a triple heritage of faith traditions. So what do African metaphysics, Islam, and Christianity have to teach us about greed and graft? How do they describe Baka, the title of my first book, which loosely translates into Baka as lying, cheating, stealing? How do they promote Jihad, the title of my sequel, which means honesty, truthfulness, transparency? Because corruption is not just rampant in the public and the private sector. It is enmeshed in our everyday human interactions. It is enmeshed in our everyday human interactions. We even use coded language or other euphemisms to conceal our misdeeds. Like the ability. They're going to be technique. We all point the finger at our government. Begins in the home. That corruption begins in the community. That corruption is a function of both poverty and greed. And that corrupt regime is a reflection of a corrupt society. So, while modifying our values from top to bottom, bottom to top, we must enforce our laws while building additional safeguards to curb corruption. We must strengthen judicial bodies and integrity institutions by populating them with impartial patriots. Name and shame those found guilty of evading public trust. Force them to restitute stolen funds and resources. And then send them to jail. High-level corruption, in particular, I'm going to repeat this because I want you to remember it. High-level corruption, in particular, is like mass murder. And we must treat it like the egregious crime that it is. Because the rule of law is not some fashionable accessory we put on when it suits us. It is a protective armor we must wear every single day in our values-based revolution. Now, in addition to prosecuting people in the soon-to-be established National Anti-Corruption Court, we must also remove corruption-inducing expenditure from our national budget, such that inflated salaries for elected and appointed officials, employee vehicles, fuel and scratch card allotments, funds can be completely done away with. These funds should be reallocated to incentivize doctors and nurses and teachers and police officers of this country. All government agencies must be audited, and elected and appointed officials should prepare their assets for public scrutiny as a requirement for assuming office. On the international affairs front, we must not allow foreign financiers to development process. We cannot and will not build a new Liberia for all Liberians if we blindly pander to the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and their proxies in the United Nations. These neoliberal institutions are not committed to the transformation required to reach Liberia. Moreover, our socio-economic transformation must be internally driven, not externally imposed. So, a reimagined Liberia reduces poverty and inequality, yes, but it also redistributes wealth, invests domestic resources into basic social services, protects land and labor in the midst of capitalist reintegration, and expands prosperity for all. This is how we address structural violence and unfreedom head on. Dignity must define us. Dignity must define us. Prioritizing nation building and structural and state building. For the last 2 decades, Liberia has focused almost exclusively on state building at the expense of nation building. Yet one cannot succeed without the other. Whereas state building concerns strengthening government institutions, policies, laws, courts, and legislatures, nation building is about improving the relationships that govern our lives. While nation building is people-centric and internally driven, requiring national agency, ownership, and resources, state building is institution-centric and often externally supported with international resources. Whereas state building focuses on building physical infrastructure, which is very important, so our roads, our bridges, our ports, our electricity. Nation building focuses on building human infrastructure. That is the psychosocial, emotional, mental, and communal well-being of citizens. State building lifts Liberia by improving the government's ability to provide privileges and protection. Nation building lifts Liberia by enabling citizens to demand representation, rights, and resources while also fulfilling responsibilities. Now, 20 years in the making, our recent progress on establishing a war and economic crime report is a welcome convergence of nation building and state building. Because the arc of a reimagined Liberia for justice. Because the arc of a reimagined Liberia for justice. In our bid to achieve positive peace, we cannot afford to bundle this process. We must be the chief sponsor and architect of this court, including providing the lion's share of financing for it. We must institute a transparent and merit-based process of selecting who shapes the court's mandate. And we must hold accountable those who bear the greatest responsibility for economic and war crimes without fear or favor, including foreign financiers and external. So far, we have started on very shaky ground. First, although Executive Order number 131, establishing the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court, was celebrated as long overdue, it still has a short lifespan of 12 months. Time is of the essence, but we are moving at a snail's pace. Second, the executive director of this office was elected under dubious circumstances. With apparently no civil society vetting or endorsement. This is unacceptable. President White House, I urge you to withdraw this nomination and not allow power tripping to derail one of the most important appointments of your time in office. That this office with outstanding human rights defenders, many of whom have been advocating in the trenches for decades. Finally, I remain very concerned about the outsized influence of the United States in our transitional justice process. We must forge new strategic partnerships based on mutual benefits and disabuse ourselves of the notion that we have a special relationship with America. Truth be told, this special relationship only exists in our imagination. We forget. Lest we forget. The United States was one of the last countries to recognize our independence. Lest we forget. The United States has taken more from us than it has given.
So, representatives for the
So
U.S. Embassy in
this is where we have the discussion, and it's all over the place. It has raised serious eyebrows, and now you have people commenting from all walks of life. The United States Embassy had a response to this, so we're gonna bring you the response of the United States Embassy. So if you just joined us, this is the afternoon conversation. We thought it wise to bring the oration of the 177 Independence Day. This is the hot cake right now that's been discussed in all of the loops and corners of our country. But this is the response from the United States Embassy with just 2 days ago. In light of the recent event at the Liberian Independence Day celebration, the United States Embassy wishes to address concern regarding Charge Affairs' request decision to leave the event. The United States and Liberia share unique history and democratic values. Unfortunately, the national orator introduced divisive rhetorics and unfounded accusations. The United States has a long history of providing foreign assistance amounting to at least $163 million annually. This is separate from the U.S. government's contribution to several international organizations that also provide aid to Liberian people. Additionally, numerous U.S. foundations, private American citizens, and non-governmental organizations are dedicated to uplifting the Liberian people. Independence Day is a time for hope and unity. The Charge Affairs request decision to walk out was a measured response to the orator's comments. while the orator is entitled to freedom of speech, the chargé choose to exercise her right not to listen to such remarks. The United States remains a steadfast partner to Liberia, dedicated to fostering a positive and collaborative relationship based on shared values and mutual respect. We look forward to continuing our work together now and in the future for the benefit of both nations. So that's the response from the United States Embassy. Like we told you, there have been lots of writings. You have permanent citizens. You understand that the government even distanced itself from the statement. But however, here is the Unity Party, the ruling establishment. The Unity Party chairman rebuked Independence Day orator over U.S. accusation. The Unity Party National Chairman, Reverend J. Luther Tappet, has rebuked Dr. Rutel Ninja Pele, the orator of Liberia's 177 Independence Day celebration, over her claims regarding the United States' role in Liberia's underdevelopment. Reverend Tappet praised Pele's speech for its ability to inspire national consciousness and a sense of duty amongst Liberians. However, he condemned her accusation against the United States as embarrassing, offensive, distasteful, and misleading, citing a lot of evidence to support her claim. Madam Orator, while your speech to national leaders and ordinary Liberian was convicting and created a sense of national consciousness and call to duty, your accusation against the United States of America for the backwardness of our country is simply embarrassing, offensive, detective, and misleading, especially when you provide no evidence to substantiate your claim, Mr. Tappet said. Highlighting Liberia's sovereignty since 1847, Tappet emphasized the country's responsibility for its own destiny. He noted the long-standing support from the United States since Liberia's recognition in 1862 and citizens and criticized past governments officials for prioritizing personal interests over national development. We have been a sovereign country for 177 years, for God's sake, determining our own destiny as a people and as a country. On the contrary, the United States has given us so much since 1862, but yet our past government officials chose to put personal interests above national interests, he asserted. Tappet expressed concern that Pele's speech had embarrassed the president and the Unity Party, urging all Liberians, including Pele, to take responsibility for the country's development rather than blaming external factors. So the Unity Party chairman came in strong, debunking the statement made by Madam Pele regarding the United States. You've listened to the speech. What have you to say? And what's your own take in there? Now, let us look at it from all walks of life. We've been saying this. We will continue to say it as many we can. The legislators, the legislative branch of government, has a pivotal role to play in transforming the lives of Liberians and transforming Liberia in totality. They have three cardinal functions: lawmaking, oversight, and representation. We have elected 103 legislators, both the Senate and that of the House of Representatives. They are 103. You have your representatives. They are all masquerading around here. They go on break. Some of them, instead of staying in the country to get to the districts they represent, to know the issues that are unfolding within the districts and the county at large, some of them, in their own words, they're going for medical attention, some go on holiday, and the rest of it. Should we blame the United States government for the action of our own people we have elected? Should we? Let's call spade a spade. If the crowd is calling that while the rat is eating the fish, we should also know that we should find an amicable way that the fish shouldn't smell. We have foreigners, not only the Americans, we have foreigners coming into our country, extracting our resources. And our own legislators, our own government officials from the president onward to our judiciary, the legislative, all of the branches, they are coincidentally having a sweat time with these people while they extract the resources of our land. Should we blame the foreigners? If our leaders were putting into place measures that will curtail the issue of corruption, that will curtail the issue that has to do with the extraction of our resources without getting the benefits, Liberia will go far. You can try that in other countries. The Ghana we're present around here. These are countries that have laws and they are implementing those laws. We have good laws on our books. But do we have the folks who should be implementing those laws with the self-consciousness, with the love for country? What happened to the Western Cluster deal? What happened to other deals around here? We have our own leaders, the people who should be pleading, people who should be making laws in the interest, doing the oversight, in the interest of the people they represent. They are in bed with these people. Just the other day, you saw the report that came up. Past and present leaders of our country having connection with the Western Cluster. They have trucks affording these people to extract our resources. And the monies come to their personal coffers. The livelihood of the people of those counties involved is never the concern. See the road condition, how deplorable it is. But yet still, we're calling on the Americans. Yes, they have their own share of it. But let us understand that cost spells pay. We must be able to do due diligence. When you are pointing your fingers at someone, know that the rest is coming back to you. And I appreciate her so highly for actually cautioning our leaders. She made mention of the Decent Work Bill. She made mention of several things. You have leaders, past and present. You have people who want to come and invest in the country. The first thing they ask, what's my benefit? What's my kickback? You need to pay flexibility fee. Before you have, I had a friend on who shared with me the past regime. He brought in some friends or business partners to actually invest in Liberia to build a 100-bedroom hospital in the Makibi area there around the airport. All they needed was the land should be provided by the government. They would do the construction, and that facility will have all it takes. You have Liberian nurses and doctors employed. You have all skills people employed. They will have home for them in that same compound. There were a lot of benefits attached. But one of our quote unquote big person in his time back then, he requested ransom before he can take the people to the president to negotiate such a deal. Numerous occasions, the people try in so many ways to get this thing work. But guess what? The efforts went down the drain until they had to leave. And right now, the people in Sierra Leone operating, they have built the structure and the Sierra Leoneans are benefiting from it. So please tell me, if you have somebody who is standing in the line, blocking development, because I will put that way, blocking development for coming to Liberians, you know, as to the level of our health sector, how porous it is. If you have that facility being erected and you have Liberians working, you have all of the necessary equipment and all of the necessary things that will relieve government of the stress in terms of health care delivery services within that part of Liberia. But one man said no, he needs ransom before he can take the people to the president. Come on, what love do we have for our country? We need the sense of belonging. We should understand that nobody, no foreigners will develop Liberia, only ourselves. If foreigners see the need to come and help us, we must show that level of sincerity. You have lawmakers riding $45,000, $85,000 car, but yet still begging. You go to beg somebody to help you. For instance, you have a kid, and this kid going to one of your friends to help him pay his or her school fees. Then you, the parent, you are riding $45,000 car. That child school fees is not yet paid. You don't care about the school fees of that child. And the person sees that, but your part, every day he looking, speaking Spanish. Your part riding for the $5,000 car. That 300, your parent get to pay your school fee. So how you think that person will take you serious as a parent? That's how our legislators, our government officials are. They're seeking their self-interest and allowing the Liberians to suffer the brunt of their actions. Until we can have that sense of reasoning as a nation. Now, electioneering year is a time of sober reflection. Most of you go to the pool all because you have received 1 or 2 cents. You've been trucked from one point to the other. So yeah, and the man gave me 300. He gave 400. He gave me back already. So I go and vote for him. I go and register in his district. And at the end of the day, the main constituents of that district will feel the brunt of your action, because this is not the person that they saw could do the work for them. But because our democracy is about numbers, they threw people into that place and overwhelmingly collected the position through the votes. Where are they now? They were all around here seeking your intervention and giving them the power to go and represent you. You, the young people, ask yourself, what are the programs that have been created for you? But these same lawmakers, they take up the time when they needed you to vote for them. They created leagues. They created competition. You see musicians all over the place. It was the only time they saw the future in you.
Now that you've given them the authority as per the Constitution to lead you, they don't care about you. They do what they find themselves doing. Should we place it on the feet of the foreigners? When our own leaders are exploiting us, when our own leaders are stepping on our neck, can you imagine? And thanks to Julius J, I saw him posting something on the social media that has to do with the school fees. Can you imagine a lawmaker, the deputy speaker of the Republic of Liberia? He has an institution, and this institution is heavily supported by government. Subsidies going to that institution. And see the fees being charged by his institution. See the fees being charged by his institution for graduation. Can you imagine that? For graduation, though, $200 United States dollars. Can you imagine this? And the Ministry of Education came up with a straitjacket measure that everybody should, every institution should adhere to that mandate. But somebody who government is quote unquote giving subsidies to his institution has a graduation fee. Let me read this thing. Say, greetings, Chairman of the Board of Directors, faculties, and administrative staff of the above mentioned institution. That's the TFA. That's the Thomas Fowler Institute of Academic and Vocational Education, TFA Academy. It says, the above mentioned is pleased to inform you that you have successfully completed the course of studies for 12th grade as prescribed by the Ministry of Education through the above mentioned institution. Therefore, you are eligible for graduation. You are eligible for graduation, it says. It went on to say, your graduation ceremony is pending upon the result of the WATS, that's the West African Senior High School Certificate Examination, WATS, and your graduation fee is $200. And other requirement is $25 United States dollars. So the $200 United States dollars for graduation fees and $25 United States dollars for other requirement. Henceforth, your baccalaureate service is scheduled for Sunday, August 18, 2024 at 11 a.m. And it says your graduation exercise is scheduled for Friday, August 23rd, 2024 at 12 noon. Venue, TFA Academics Auditorium, Nizo Community, Pinsville, Liberia. Your final clearance will be issued to you as invitation card upon the completion of the above mentioned requirements. Deadlines for payment is Friday, August 16, 2024 at 4 p.m. Congratulations in advance. Signed, yours, Jackson F. Corsivo, Vice Principal for Instruction, Epu Steven Koluba, Acting Principal. My people, somebody who is at the helm of power, who has the authority to make law, who has the authority for oversight, someone who has the authority to make law on your behalf. And based on his lobbyistic power, the government is giving subsidy to that institution. Now, 12th graders are to pay $225 United States dollars
for graduation? Are you killing me? Should we blame this on the American? Should we? If a legislator who owns an institution and graduation fee is as high, then what more? Are they in our interest? Is he buttressing government efforts in educating the public? He have constituents that are also enrolling at that school. And that kind of money is requested for graduation. Now, then what happens after the graduation to other students who are from the same parent to enroll at that institution or to other institution? Where the parents getting the money from? You see how wicked our officials of government are? See how wicked? But let's open the line so that we hear from you. 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073. Our numbers you can call and weigh in. You listen to the orator's speech. What you make of it? What's your point in there? 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073 are the numbers to call and form part of the afternoon conversation right here on Love FM 105.1. It's so it's scary. That's complete wickedness. Wickedness in higher places. Hello?
Yes.
How are you? What's your name and join us from where?
Teresa from District number 5, Teresa Toba. Thank you for the discussion. Our brother and ourselves are listening to the orator of the introductory program. And I want to tell the government thank you for letting us prepare our place and the organizer of that program. Everything was in place. You can do a real and country program. You know, there and thing was there was very fun. But number two, the orator lab, the statement, the orator should be blamed for her own statement. You can't blame the government. Anything the orator says is from herself.
Oh, yeah. The Americans said that.
Yes, she should be blamed. And America is a country that believes in democracy. They believe in fairness. Why you say freedom of speech? Anything about number two, our legislation, they are very wicked in the country. They're responsible for all the bad things that we're going through. See the working class of this. Don't for me, see the poor. Just to say the kind of rich, you're not coming from that place. Yeah? Working class of to tell the poor suffering down there. They can enjoy it. The poor country are almost over. We got election. Our government when it's a new contract for somebody here. What is it? The first contract is signed. They even implemented to the view. And it's signed. Another contract with the you are playing America for all the money. That's what people. All the bad things they're doing in the country. So I can't even blame America for anything. Yeah, one law negotiate a school fee. They say I must refuse.
That even school fees. That graduation fee, my dear.
The graduation fee.
$225.
Yeah, they carry school fee in the post. They say we'll drop it to $25, pay $215. Carry school work coming up paying no subject you too. They drop their school fee from the father. They carry school. Yeah, they pay $215. If you are working in the government, you getting everything from the government for that school. Then you care to school contract. What all the one for? What parents taking no money for? Your parents are working, they even making that kind of money. You were struggling to send a children to school, just not machine. And you start saying that you can't say that in America. Those people that are responsible about time will come, will put together. I think what is done the legislation, the country will be all legislation, will be all right.
That is so impossible.
Then the India only really just sit on the store, you see, they're all by me. So just call no hold here. You say, but what you want for me to tell? What you want in the hospital, but then you say, one more, a party money carry, all of the country to the family, you can't say, I'm talking for the market, I'm talking for the market, why you package here, but I don't carry, you say that. They're not in the interest of all my brother, they're not in the interest of us. So what the other says should be responsible for all I'd like the party chairman, the party chairman. But they're saying they're still from it. So my brother, have a nice day.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you. This is from the Ministry of Education. Below are the approved and sanctioned graduation fees for 12th graders in public and private schools in the Republic of Liberia. Public schools, graduation fees, 5,000 Liberian dollars. Private schools, graduation fees, not more than 100 United States dollars. Graduation fees for both public and private schools are to be collected only after the official WISE results are released by WISE Liberia. Additionally, students must pass 5 subjects, including mathematics and English, to qualify for participation in the graduation ceremony. Best regards, J. Maxine Blitten, Director of Communication and Public Affairs, Ministry of Education. So you see, private school, not more than 100 United States dollars, but TFA, TFA Academy, 225 United States dollars, 12 graders, graduation fee. But yet, we want to use the statement made by Ms. Pele and politicize and spin around it and shift blames on Americans. While the people we stood under the ring, the sun to elect, they go in that house, they maneuver their way to include their institutions for subsidies from government. He is the Deputy Speaker of the Republic of Liberia. His institution is in our budget. But guess what? Graduation fee, 225 United States dollars. That gross wickedness. The same Deputy Speaker, the Western Cluster issue, he has trucks and F-moving equipment that is on contract with these foreign institutions, collecting millions of dollars monthly, where the constituents in his district, children are attending that school. Some of them, they are graduating. Where are they to take $225 from? You see, our own leader now. Our own set leader, not American leading the Liberians. This is wickedness to the highest school. Support your calls on 0887 105 105, 0778 665 073 are the numbers to call and form part of the afternoon conversation right here on Love FM 105.1. Yeah, that's the issue, my people. We played you the orator's speech. You listened. She touched every loose acquaintance. What have you to say? You know, the other part of it, we focusing our attention on the American of the lady's speech. But let us take the American out of it. Let us look at you, the officials of government, your own part of the cake. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Wonderful. What's your name and you join us from where?
I'm Victor White. I'm calling you from 17th Street.
Victor, let's hear you.
Okay. I don't think anything wrong with the speech. They want to talk to everybody. So I don't see anything wrong with it. She will not America to say they are not mentioning or helping her at all. He said they take more than what they're breaking. And it is true, realistically it is true. And she talked to the legislature as well. She don't exclude anybody. So why people should have problem with her?
So now what the guys are doing, they are putting spin on it to cover up what the lady on earth about their attitudes to Liberians. So they are using the American as a cover up.
Exactly, they just running with the woman to the America, only America. They didn't say they come number one. They are the problem for this country. There is a complete problem for this country. They are very ungrateful people here. The man will be going from better to better, taking people from place to place. At the end of the day, when they get the position, they lie, they do different things. Why will you be riding that kind of car after certain months and then a few months, they change it? Then you there talking about somebody living in poverty. Who the cause of the person living in poverty? All of your family, you say that to where you want them to be. The country that you say you like, you only let the country in your mouth. You don't even show any percent. Only election time, all of them can be pretending. So they really talk to everybody. So your children in the room, you not call them a back, all of them, and then the business or the people to say why you talking to the people or the business or no. You talk to everybody. So they are talking now, minute our legislators they want to change their mind and their attitude.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much, my brother. We appreciate your participation.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh yes. The guys are putting spin on it and only focusing on the aspect that has to do with America, you know, because America is a big fish in the process, so it supersedes all of the issues that make the news. So America is singled out. But she went in depth, even spoke to the conscience of the president. Oh yes, she spoke to the conscience of the president. So that tells you we shouldn't only dwell on the statement made by the orator that America is this, America is that. No. Focus on the ones that our own people that are leading us, what they are doing to us. That's what we should focus on. But again, politicians are very crafty, so they use this means to get the attention of them by putting more emphasis on what the lady said about America. That is not the issue. The main issue here is, what are you doing as a lawmaker? What are you doing as a government official in bettering the lives of the ordinary people? Since after election, how many of you have gone back to your constituents? How many? Just the other day, there's a report that came out of Margibi on the senator of Margibi County in person of Honorable Nathaniel McGill, that he have not lived up to his campaign promises made to the people of Margibi County. When he was all in there, carrying on construction, making the people to believe that this man, in the absence of power, he's doing this in the district. That's why, Liberians, you need to sit yourself down and ask yourself where you go wrong and where have we gone wrong, and recalibrate for 2029 or the midterm election. Because, mind you, you are only moved by these kind of how you call it? They both people get a name for it. quick fix projects. It fill your eyes. If they make and do the one, then we'll let the mail do more. You got to be food, and at the end of the ball, these people are seeking their personal interests. See, 100,000 being given to them for constituency visit. You have most of them, check the records now. They are out of the country. Some of them say they're going for a medical checkup. If you will do the needful to make sure that you allocate fundings to improve the healthcare delivery system in the country, you won't go to Ghana for healthcare or medical attention. You won't go to Ghana. You won't go to other countries, except for an extreme situation. You think the president of Ghana, he ready take up the time to leave Ghana just because you see scratch on his skin, then he leave from Ghana, he leave from Ghana to go and see medical attention? No. He goes to the hospital right in Ghana. The Ghanaian president, upon his demand, he said, when he was flown to France, he said, no, why spend thousands of dollars on just an individual like me? Why you have millions of Ghanaians who need quality health care delivery services. Take me back home. And whatever funding that will be used on me will remain in our economy. I don't know our leaders, if they do think or they just willfully do these things. You think if you improve the healthcare delivery system in a country, you have to go to Ghana to go check what's coming on your skin or your eye getting problem? You will run to JFK. Now, that's why a lot of you don't know. And most of you have not learned lesson yet from your fallen colleagues. They left the country, they went to seek medical attention in foreign countries. They did not return. You think if you will improve the healthcare delivery system in this country and you go to any of these facilities, you will not be given first preference and the first class treatment? You will. Because you will be respected as a lawmaker or a government official. But when you live on here, you go in the people country, they see you as an ordinary person. And the charges that they have, the prices that are attached to those treatment that you go to seek is even higher because you are a foreigner. That's what most of you don't know. But yet still, you still strangulate the system to the extent that people should only look up to you. When they start you, no other means. People who want to come in the country, you are strangulating them. See what's happening at our port of entry. People want to come and do business. Liberians who have interest in business, but they are strangulated because of the tariff, the high tariff at our port. You have foreigners illegally taking our minerals from here. That's why I said this morning, the Ministry of Energy in Ghana or Nigeria, they call it Ministry of Energy. But let's mines and energy. You need to pay keen attention and monitor the activities of these institutions that are doing the borehole issue around here. And you should get to understand that the world is evolving. Technology is at its best. The only time teenagers used to do, well, before you know mineral here, you gotta go dig the soil and do. No, the people no longer doing it. They have state-of-the-art equipment. When they come here, they will detect that indeed you have this kind of mineral here. So the borehole I saw with my own eyes in Bapolu County, where minerals were taken out from the same borehole thing, extracting the resources illegally. So I need to monitor them. So some of you, you know about it, but because you are giving kickback, so you have a tight lip on this issue. And most of the activities of the borehole institution is in the rural areas. See, our foreign brothers who are mining sand, you think that ordinary thing they just doing what they want to mine sand? Come on. They are extracting resources for this land. What is the monitoring system? There's no monitoring system put into place. Monitoring evaluation is not going on. Mr. President, it's about time. If you do not want people to do business as usual, put your feet down, put aside all of the soft-heartedness. If someone goes wrong, let the person bear the full weight of the law. And to conclude on this, Mr. President, we're calling on you to take action against Mark Jabate. Regardless of the outbursts of Yeke Koluba, who do not respect the morals of the society as he's called an honorable, I think that name honorable shouldn't be attached to such a people like that, because it is embarrassing for you to be called an honorable and all you do is to rain insults and do the worst thing. So, Mr. President, we are calling on you for an immediate action against Mark Jabate, one of your ministers. If we will not do business as usual, this is one of the points. We saw in this country people threatening people and lives were taken away. extrajudicial killings were also carried out in this country. So if a minister of your government can come up publicly to a phone conversation with the lawmaker and threaten his life, this shouldn't be taken lightly. Action must be taken to serve as a deterrent for would-be violators or people who have similar interests in doing such a thing. You are the president of the Republic of Liberia. You are not the president for United Party. No. You are not the president for a certain group of people. No. You are the president for all. 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call. In just a minute or two, we'll be winding down the curtains on today's edition of the program, The Afternoon Conversation, right here on Love FM 105.1. 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are the numbers to call. It's so sad. We are our own problem. We are our own problem. We shouldn't blame it on anyone. And please, you people start politicizing the latest speech. She said what she had to say. But the main issue here, our focus should be on our own government officials, our own people, even we the citizens. We need to be nationalistic and patriotic. On this note, this is how we love to wind down the curtains on today's edition of the program, The Afternoon Conversation. Like I always say to you, there are two things in this life you always be remembered for: the problems you create and the problems you solve. And you must take responsibility of two things in your life: your fortune and that of your misfortune. Liberians, we should take responsibility of our fortune and our misfortune. Because in union strong success is sure. With God above our rights to prove, we over all prevail. With hearts and hands, our country cause defending, we meet the foe with valor unpretending. Do have you and yours a pleasant and a godly day. Bye-bye on the program.
Know of no safe depository of the ultimate powers of society but the people themselves. And if we think